Um, Now we will review the use and the meaning of relative clauses and try to practice using the relative clauses in our speaking. So firstly, do you still remember what you have learned before about the relative clauses? Um, yeah, that's what's the difference between defining relative clause and a non-defining relative clause? So defining relative clause is they are usually found after a noun or a noun phrase, like adjectives. They describe or give information about the person or thing being talked or written about. Yeah. And non-defining relative clauses, that means, as the words suggest, they are not defining. That means they usually are used to give extra, a non-essential information. Or sometimes they are used to comment on the whole or part of the main clause, right? So now we can read some of the examples. Let's see first one. He's going out with Julie, comma, who I can't stand. Is this defining or non-defining? Yeah, this is non-defining, right? Because without the relative clause, the first sentence, the main part of the clause is already complete. So who I can't stand is giving some extra information about Julie, actually about my comments or my view on Julie, right? He's going out with Julie is perfectly fine. So, and defining relative clause. Examples are like, I like friends who never let me down. So as you can see, without the second part, or without the relative clause, merely the first part of the sentence sounds like what? Sounds like incomplete, right? I like friends. It sounds a little weird if you just end it there. You feel like there is something missing. And second, when I want a bank account, the noun phrase here is just too general to make sense. So the pronouns used for defining relative clauses, as you can see, mainly for subject, they are who and that. That's for person, and for thing, we can use that or which, mostly just that. And for object, we usually use that or who, right? Okay, now I will give you 2 minutes to read the examples so that you can understand the meaning and the use of relative clauses, defining and non-defining better. After that, we will do some exercise in the textbook and discuss the differences in meaning expressed with the defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. And after that, please match the main sentences with the correct follow-up sentences. So now I assume you have finished reading. Now let's look at their main sentences. A. She offered me some cigarettes that were very strange. What does it mean? What should be the correct follow-up sentence? They were red and blue, or she knows I don't smoke. In the first sentence, is this a defining or non-defining relative clause? That were very strange. So here, that closely follows the non-cigarettes, right? So this is a defining clause. That means the cigarettes are very strange. So what should be the follow-up? Number one, right? They were red and blue. Okay, that's very good. Perfect. Now let's look at the B. She offered me some cigarettes, which was very strange. As you can see, this relative clause is separated by a comma. That means this is a non-defining clause. So which, what does it refer to? So here it should refer to the main clause, right? So it's a comment on the whole main clause. That the fact she offered me some cigarettes. This is a very strange act. So we can see the follow-up sentence could be number 2. She knows I don't smoke, yet she offered me some cigarettes, which is very strange. Okay, that's perfect. Now let's go to the next pair. He's going out with Julie, who I can't stand. Or he's going out with Julie, which I can't stand. Yes. Okay, so A should be defining and B should be non-defining, right? So he's going out with Julie, who I can't stand. As you can see, who refers to clearly refers to Julie. I can't stand Julie, right? Yeah, I'm fed up with Julie. She's definitely a girl I don't like. Yeah, the reason, so the follow-up sentence could be number 2. The reason why I can't stand Julie is because she's such a gossip. Okay, so the second, he's going out with Julie, which I can't stand. This is a comment on the previous main clause. I can't stand the fact that he's going out with Julie, not me. So he should be going out with me, right? That follow-up sentence should be 1. That's correct. And the next pair of sentence, my brother who lives in Rome is a model. Well, my brother, comma, who lives in Rome, comma, is a model. Clearly, sentence A is contains a defining relative clause. The relative clause who lives in Rome describes what kind gives extra gives how to say some defining feature about my brother. It shows maybe I have more than one brother, right? So when the brother who lives in Rome, he is a model. Okay, so the follow-up sentence could be my other brother is an accountant. That's correct. And the second, B, my brother, comma, who lives in Rome is a model. We can totally take out the non-defining relative clause. Just say my brother is a model. My brother lives in Rome, right? Yeah, my brother is a model. Okay, the follow-up sentence then could be he absolutely loves his job. Yeah, he's a model and he loves his job. So that's very good. So after that, now I want you to form in groups in 3 and 4 people, just depending the seats where you're sitting. Each group will be distributed a note which bears some information about different fictional character. It could be a superhero or a princess. Now, please, after you get the note, please read it aloud in the group to make sure every member can tell the information offhand. And after that, the next step, all members set out to talk to others so as to get information about other characters. The more the better. After that, we're going to have a contest to, yes.